If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs.
Rogue One, yep, Star Wars reference there. Blood-Tanned Pauldrons, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Dia Dark Whisper, 15% on the drop rate for the shoulders. The chest piece, which we're going to stick around with the Nightborn dude. Runesworn Chest Guard, Stormheim, Assault and Battery. It's a quest reward, so that's a very easy piece to get. You might already have the piece, to be honest with you. The belt is from WAD, Flayed Demon Skin belt. Hellfire Citadel, various mobs, or you could buy it on the auction house. Kind of a fair drop rate, so either way, it's an easy piece to get. Ice Pine Breeches, High Mountain, Greystone Shard Finders, if you want to farm it, or you could buy it on the auction house. 16% drop rate if you want to look for it in Stormheim. The feet, Toxicologist Treated Boots, part of the same tier set as the shoulders and the head, and also the belt, by the way, which of course Hellfire Citadel Mythic. Doing a spin, showing the cloak. They're going with a wrist here. We're not going with any gloves. Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Siege Master Marduk. Talk about the gore-bound wrist guards, 5% drop rate on that. Moving on to the back, Waycrest Guards Cloak. This is Alliance only, Order of Embers equipment cache, but there is a look-alike. Check Wowhead for that. Gurtong's Discarded Hood, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Dia Dark Whisper for that cool-looking headpiece, and the weapon, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, awesome-looking sword. I have this set on my rogue, which I just recently got to level 120, Vindictive. Gladiators, Leather, Spaulders, Legion PvP Vendor, Marks of Honor. You got to buy the whole set, I think. Yes, you do. Eventually, they might change that, though. The chest guards of No Remorse, the Steam Vault, Hydromancer Thespia, 16% on the drop rate for the chest. The belts, we're going to spin you to Throne of Thunder Heroic. Swen is the boss, and we're looking at the Girdle of Night and Day, 12% on the drop rate. That, of course, is a tier piece from druids, for druids, but of course rogues can wear that belt. Leggings of the Unrepentant, the Blood Furnace, Caladan, the Breaker, 5% on the drop rate for the legs. Part of the same dungeon drop set from BC as the chest. The feet, Fearless Gladiators, Leather, Slippers. Something not scary about rogues in slippers, but that's part of the same tier set as the boots and the boots, the gloves, and the shoulders. Hands, Vindictive Gladiators, Leather Gloves, Legion PvP Vendor, Marks of Honor. So you might have to just step up and buy the set because there's 3 pieces that were in that set, in this set. Zorsil Cloak, vanilla level tailoring, or you could buy it on the auction house. The headpiece, Headdress of Living Brambles, which of course is from the Burning Throne Heroic, various mobs to farm it there. Kind of a fair drop rate. And Blood Sipper is the weapon out of Icecrown Citadel. The shoulders are a recolor from a rogue set. This is the part that Rose could use. Fell Flame Infernal shoulder pads, Burning Throne Mythic, Hulking Demolisher, fair drop rate to get those shoulders. The chest, part of the same tier set as the legs, and the gloves, Furious Gladiators Leather Tunic. All 3 of those pieces can be picked up from your local Wrath of the Lich King PvP vendor who's in Dalaran. Cinch of Sizzling Flesh, Tomb of Sargeras, Garoth is the boss, 8% on the drop rate. Incidentally, the belt and the boots are from that same tier set from Tomb of Sargeras, of course, in Legion. The legs we already talked about, Furious Gladiators, Leather Laggards, Wrath of the Lich King, PvP Vendor, 3 Marks of Honor, where you could obviously buy the whole set. Loving how this looks on a Night Elf Rogue here. Fellscape Pathfinders, Tomb of Sargeras, Fallen Avatar, 12% on the drop rate for those boots. Moving on to the gloves, and you could go with the gloves from that tier set of Tomb of Sargeras as well. I like these better, though. Furious Gladiators, Leather Gloves, Wrath of the Lich King, PvP Vendor. Moving on to a Lady Nightborn and the back, Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold Mythic, Sky Captain Crag, 12% on the drop rate. The headpiece, Sinister Rogue Mask, Rogue Order Hall, Grifter sells it for Not Conans of Air, as in Conan O'Brien. No, they're coins, typo. And the weapon is out of Karazhan BC version. If you're wondering why there's no weapon, that's because the Horde can't use the weapon, and I wasn't able to film it showing the weapon, so stay tuned. We'll hook you up with the weapon. Doomblade Spaulders, Nighthold Mythic, Tychondrus is the boss. The chest, breastplate of the Incendiary Soul, Firelands, Balorok is the boss. Can't really see it behind that tabard, though, which is intended. Moving on to the belt, super easy to get. It's the Prideful Gladiators Waistband of Accuracy. If you accurately want to pick it up for Horde, it would be the Grievous, 1 mark of honor for the belt. Now you see the sword. Moving on to the legs, part of the same set as the chest, Cinder Web Leggings, Firelands, Bathilic is the boss, 14% on the drop rate. And next up, we have a some kind of dwarf. It could be an dark iron dwarf or a regular dwarf. Boots of Endless Betrayal, part of the same tier set as the gloves, the shoulders, and the head. Just talked about it. Doomblade Gauntlets, Nighthold Mythic. On the gloves, the back, Fetid Horrors Tangle Cloak. Talking Uldir Mythic, Fetid Devourer, so that's kind of easy to get at this point. Tabard Consortium, or Consortium Tabard. Basically your Tabard vendor golden rep with the Consortium from BC. The headpiece is not the Consortium Tabard, that is a mistake. The headpiece is Nighthold Mythic, part of the same tier set as the gloves and the boots. The weapon, Alliance only, Notorious Aspirant's Cutter. This is a little bit Cata, a little bit BFA, and a little bit, I think, WAD, or maybe Legion, not exactly sure. But nonetheless, BFA, Cata, horrible xpacs, but I like this set. The shoulders, LFR version of Battle of Dazalahar, Sark of the Unwatched, Blackwing Descent, keep in mind heroic Atramedes. So the shoulders, the gloves, the boots are all from, maybe even the belt, yep, the belt too, are all from Battle of Dazalahar LFR version. The chest and the legs are from Cata, which is Blackwing Descent. Keep in mind heroics, or Throne of the Four Winds heroic. Heart of Wind, Wind Stalker Leggings, 16% on the drop rate, so 3 different raids there. Little Cata, a little bit of BFA. The feet, Silent Pillager's foot pads, various mobs in Battle of Dazalahar LFR. Keep that in mind. I think the Blood Elf is going to do a spin. He's going to show us the cloak, which is the Gildithorian cloak. But first, the hands, gloves of spiritual grace. Frida Iron Bellows drops those gloves. And now we have an Undead Lady, Gildithorian cloak. Karazhan BC version, Terrestrian Elhoof is the boss, 17% on the drop rate. The headpiece is one of the few pieces from WAD, Hellfire Citadel Mythic, Shadow Lord Iskar for the headpiece, and the weapon, Titan Steel Spellblade, manufactured. Going with the blue pirate look, which works. Vindictive Gladiators Leather Spaulders, Legion PvP vendors, Marks of Honor, of course. Right now you got to buy that whole set, but eventually you might be able to buy pieces for Marks of Honor, or maybe you have some pieces already. The chest is a drop set out of Wrath of the Lich King, Riplash Jerkin, part of the same drop set as the legs. The belt, Vindictive Gladiators Leather Belt, Legion PvP vendor, Marks of Honor. Keep in mind that these Vindictive, whatever, those pieces, which are the shoulders, the gloves, and the belt, all happen to be Alliance only, and basically you have to buy the whole set. And like I said, eventually you might be able to buy pieces, but it's the way it is now. You got to buy the whole set. Oppressors, Merciless Treads, Hellfire Citadel Heroic, Tyrant Velhari. Let's pick up those boots. One of my favorite leather boots, by the way. Vindictive Gladiators Leather Gloves. We already talked about this. So we're going to move on to the next piece, which is a Lady Nightborne. I think this looks really cool on a Nightborne. High Tinker's Cape. Starting to be one of my top favorite capes in the game. Blue Tricorn Hat. Basically, buy these for doubloons, which you get from Isles, and Spellfire Longsword, Slave Pens, Men of the Betrayer, 10% drop rate. You could also buy it on the auction house, I think, not 100% sure. But I am sure. My name is Luxeley. Want to thank everybody for watching. Leave you with a final thought. Whatever it is, by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night, make it epic.